where the drama starts. Lap 30, 8 laps to go. Sandobi hoping to take advantage of these lapped cars. Pilecki goes, dives onto the right side. Very aggressive here. This is lap 4. The two Viceroys. Bill Frazier ahead of Matt Pilecki. Frazier's off. Frazier hit the grass. You hit that tire wall, your day is done. Well, now it's lap 20. The Williams still trying to get around the Terrell team as he'll go around the lap car and around Mills at the same time. At the same time, he's got the inside corner of Willie Rod curb. Yes, he will. He will get him on the inside. Vito Maria leading us all into Moss's corner. Look at the beauty as his right side will cook the grass a little. A 180, no, a 360. Oh. Who will yield going into this corner? It's really not meant for too wide as it will be Gernald. Gernald will yield. Lots of smoke picking up from that Williams car. He is pushing it to the absolute limit. 26 of 30 now. Only 4 laps to go. He's going to get the run coming out the final corner. He's going to pull up side by side with the leader. It's going to be a drag race to the finish. Who is going to get there first? It's going to be...
The old guard against the new challenger. The up-and-coming trying to stick it to the man. The showdown between the 13-time champion and the reigning champion. It is time to prove yourself once more. Round 9. Green Hell. The Nordschleife is our iconic battleground for round 9 of the CTC Lotus 79 series on iRacing Live and the global SimRacing channel. Attention and step to it, soldiers. I am your drill sergeant for this afternoon, Mr. Hashtag Do You Mind himself, and observer of SimRacing, Jake Sperry, taking no prisoners for anybody asleep on the job. Joining me is the Shawn Michaels to my Hunter Hurst Helmsley, Sean Crackers Ambrose. I'm Jed Yamin with 149 Sperries in the bank. Will be on camera duty as Officer Dougie Beard has scouted the perimeter with said cameras. But Sean, the Green Hell is a nightmarish creation which is the sternest challenge of a vehicle anywhere in the world. 140 plus corners, over 20 kilometers of the most devastating asphalt, and a championship poised to go any which way. Today though, is not about who wins, but more rather about who lives.
Jake, the Nordschleife. Every corner is a different and scary prospect. Short run to 1 means there'll be a bottleneck for sure. Arenberg, Hardenauer, Forest, Bravery, Ben, and Dottinger will all provide overtaking places, but you know, in the mid-20s, the Nürburgring was originally 2 circuits, the 7.7-mile Southern Loop and the 14-mile Northern Loop, which hosted the German Grand Prix. In 1982, the Southern Loop, well, it fell victim to modern safety concerns and was demolished. On the site of its pit complex now sits the modern Nürburgring's Grand Prix circuit. Now, traditionalists who have had trouble accepting the new track because they cling to the nostalgic past will get their wish, because today the drivers must make an assault on what is widely considered the world's most demanding road course, the Nürburgring's Nordschleife. The Northern Loop twists and 154 turns, rises and falls over 20.8 kilometers or 12.9 miles through Germany's Eifel Mountains. But words cannot do justice to Green Hell, so let's jump on board and take a look at some of the more interesting parts of the Northern Loop.
All right, we've got Johan Orlampi in the GSRC Lotus 79, so let's do a lap around the Nürburgring. First corner up is the north curve, and the downhill braking will make it easy to overshoot it. Now we're going to skip ahead to the important parts of the lap since we don't have time for a full one. A critical set of corners is High Oaks. This right-left combo takes you onto a long, flat-out stretch where you won't be braking until Ehrenberg. Make sure you get a good exit. Up ahead, the Swedish Cross is flat out, but make sure to stay to the left and brake as deep as you dare. Ehrenberg has some good camber, but it's gone wrong for all kinds of drivers over the years. Still, you're likely to see some attempts at overtaking here. Skipping over the foxhole to compression, you've got a blind swing into Outenauer Forest. As the track weaves back and forth, you're constantly slowing the car. Take it wide into the last left-hander so that you can get onto the power early as it veers back right. Later on in the track, once we're heading downhill, you've got to weave through the Spiegel curve and then get ready for miss, hit, miss. Use the apexes like the name implies. Still plunging downward in elevation, you've got the awkward braking for Defense Valley. There's no room to the outside, so be sure not to lock the brakes. Fast forwarding to the bottom of the Great Climb, the Lauda kink won't require a lift, but Bergwerks is as critical as ever. Send it in deep, but always be sure to bring it back in for that late apex and then get on the power early. You won't be braking all the way up the hill until here at Steilstrecke. I've always found it hard to get the car to turn in here, no matter which car I'm in. Be easy on the throttle on your way out to avoid wheel spin, then line up the car for the carousel. It is going to be very bumpy through here, and you really can't get back fully on the gas until you're out of the banking. Once again jumping ahead, let's look at the ice curve. Supposedly it's called that because it takes a long time to dry in wet weather, but I think it's just hard to find grip in general. Stay off the curbs and try to straight line these S's. Make sure to line up the car on the left, and though you still get light over the jump into Flansgarden, you won't get air like most cars do. Double apex the uphill, and then we're going to skip over to Swallowtail. You're slowing and turning with a fast right-hander, but be sure to keep the car tucked to the right for the best line over the crested left-hander. Pretty quickly you've got to swing through the mini carousel, which flies by much faster than its bigger cousin. Then comes the most important corner on the track, Gallows Hill. Getting through that first bit cleanly is important so that you can get your foot flat to the floor and power your way out to the Dottinger Hoa. This thing goes on for over 2 kilometers. At the end of it is Tiergarten. It's just a quick squiggle, but then Hohenron presents a lot more difficult proposition of slowing while turning and then avoiding the tall curbs on either side. The weirdly named Turn 13 is all that stands between you and the finish. So with that, we've now completed a lap around the Nürburgring.
And there we see the Lotus 79 having a nice little trip there, the GSRC Lotus 79 around the Nordschleife. But of course, this is round 9 of 12. There's 4 drops for the drivers and 2 for the team. So in theory, we are in drop week city now. Any last chance to score your points, you will have to do them now, or you will have to do them in another season because there is no other alternative. It's 8 laps though here today, open setups, no stops for fuel, 17 instant points which could go in a blink of an eye at the Nordschleife, and of course points for the drivers, official iRacing standard. But the Drivers' Championship, the points lead for Nuno Moreira has stayed marginal though, at 65 points, but both drivers have eaten into their drop weeks and still have to get the hurry up on today. Kaira Rakola though has a habit of racing at a different time, and the Silent Assassin sits in 3rd position overall. This championship, at least, is a 3-way dance right now, Sean.
Yeah, you know what? 3-way dance, indeed. It doesn't look like Vandenberg is going to be able to close that down in time to get really into the thick of that battle. So both drivers have eaten up into their drop weeks, like you said. So, we shall see what this 3-way dance is going to look at here over the last 4 rounds.
That's certainly going to be very interesting, and we had high hopes of Michael Vandenberg at the beginning, but inconsistency has played its toll. Ferrari, though, Vandenberg's team, are walking away in the Constructors, now up to a 33-point lead overall, but the major scrap between Brabham, Shadow and McLaren is hotting up, and I am very intrigued today, Sean, to see how Gerber and Gerber, or shall I say the Gerber brothers, will do today.
Well, you know what? I'm looking through the list here. I don't see any Gerbers here.
Oh,
so
no.
This may be a big hit for Team McLaren today. Maybe they just decided to take this one off and just take one of the drops here. This course not suited for everyone, Jake. Of course, you know that.
I certainly do. And well, the Gerber and Gerber racing in agency, shall we say, is not going to be taking part. Practice, though, is going to be over in the next 10 seconds. So what we'll do is we'll get you to the starting grid. This is how everyone will line up. Juha Noralampi, the preacher, is up on pole. He's back where he wants to be, needs to be, should be in some respects. Michael Vandenberg will start from 2nd today, as Ocean Puheka will start from 3rd, with Gerd Hofer in 4th. Jerno Friche, the 13-time champion, starts from 5th on the grid, with Kaira Rakola starting up from 6th position. Steve Bycroft will be in 7th, with 8th going to Matt Wood. Claire Hughes there in 9th, and John Stevens rounds out 10th.
Boy, really nice turnout here for the Nordschleife today, and Pablo Suarez will be in 11th, 12th. Going to go to Nicholas Landau. Row 7, Timo Vascalampi. and Adam Blocker, row 8, Kendrick Taylor and Mark Pickford. Robert Simpkins, Keith Herner, row 9, row 10, Ray Griffin and Steve Sarles. Daniele Gattuso, 21st, 22nd, Messan Pascal, and Daniel Banker, 23rd, Anthony Catt in 24th. There you go, Jake.
There you go. No Nuno Moreira. So championship leader sits it out at the Nordschleife. Doesn't want to risk anything. He will go and fight on a different day at a different time. Short run to turn 1, we've said already. And Juhan Oralampi will be on the outside heading to turn number 1. So the big difficulty is going to be, how does he manage though? Lights on. 8 laps, lights out, let's go. Slow start from Michel Vandenberg. Puheka in the inertia sim racing machine wants to go to the outside. Not going to happen then. He's going to sit, he's going to wait. And already we're seeing here the 2 wides that will soon have to filter themselves out. Clean getaway from everybody. Very nice to see. Nora Lampe, though, is clear, and clear by a long way as Vandenberg plays defense here through the section, this early section of twisty parts of the corners, and Vandenberg going very wide through that right-hander, and Puheka turned around already, causing mayhem and carnage. Everybody now running into each other. Hit the brakes, boys. That's 3, 4, 5 vehicles all getting caught up in that one. And we were talking about Steve Sarles there. We were talking about Nicholas Landau charging in, and Steve Bycroft. Everybody caught out, Sean.
Timu Vascalampi actually was caught out on that as well. Osi and Puhaka. Trouble for him early after a really good start out of the gate, but Jake, you got to be careful here. It's almost best to go line of stern. Look at them all get packed up there on the replay.
And
on board Puhaka here.
Well, that was a very scary moment for Puhaka, and he saw the incident and he just lost the rear end. Of course, the tyres are going to be cold. The track's only 30 degrees. You have to be careful about that. Let's go back live, though, because Leah Hughes has just lost a position to Adam Blocker, and Blocker with a lot of IndyCar experience here gets very cautious on the brakes as he heads into Arenberg, and he just about gets away with it there. Normally the team afterburn driver having a very nice run of things at the moment, and while Adam Blocker, you see him up and down here, Sean, in all forms of racing, including a Skip Barber and an IndyCar. This Lotus, though, is nothing like he'll do. It's got to get past Pablo Lumbueras next.
Yeah, and Pablo, not an easy pass up. 4 spots already. Oh, more trouble.
Very, very marginal, and everybody around again. This one up at Ardno first. That's Ray Griffinen, who has been turned around. Replay up on screen. And, well, he was looking to try and get aggressive there. Mark Pickford was already off the circuit, and, well, there was nowhere for Griffin to go. He just pancakes himself into the wall. And, well, anything more said about that there, Sean? I think that it has to be said that we will just be wasting words on lower cases and capitals.
Yeah, Steve Sarles is the one that T-boned him as he was trying to get through there. Man, watch this. We'll go back live now. Boy, what a tough way to get this thing started.
The circuit doesn't forgive and forget. We've seen the Bathurst 12-hour. That's dangerous. But, of course, later on in the year, we will have the 24 hours of the Nürburgring. These guys only have to do 8 laps. And these 8 laps will be the toughest 8 laps that they will have to experience right now in terms of this championship. A battle going on, though, further up the field. Gerd Hofer under pressure with Journo Frietsche behind as they head into Bergwerk here. This long right-hander leading towards the Lauda Links, leading towards Bravery Bend. This is one of the overtaking opportunities. If you can just stick in the slipstream, and these vehicles are very nimble when it comes to all these series of lefts and rights, Frietsche will have an opportunity to try and take 4th position away from his heir apparent.
He'll have a chance, and boy, he's going to try and get him here. Look, taking a look to the inside, coming up along. Ooh, almost makes contact here.
Careful, and they hold it together before Bravery Bend, which was this left-hander. They hold it all nicely. Journo Frietsche then up into what is now 3rd position, out on circuit. So Frietsche up into the podium as Michel Vandenberg and Juhan Oralampi try and break away at the front of the field. And in essence, they have at this stage. Adam Blocker has already got through Pablo Lumbueras, as has Pickford, as has Hughes. So they've managed to get themselves going. And Kendrick Taylor now getting a little bit restless behind Pablo Lumbueras. They had a little wiggle there before heading to this corner. And then the next one is the most famous corner in all of racing here, Sean. It's the carousel.
The carousel, yeah. And boy, just got to keep it down tight there on the inside. In fact, Lear Hughes just lost it a little bit there. And boy, here comes Pickford. Pickford's picked him up right under the wing, looking to take this position away. Pickford moving up through the field really quick here, up 7 spots, Jake.
Yeah, he certainly is. Behind that, though, Steve Bycroft's looking at this battle between Masson Pascal and Keith Herner. Herner will have to be a quick learner here, as he's already had some experience, I believe, in the Lotus at the Nordschleife. He did the Avers race for cancer just a couple of weeks ago, and that was a very noble cause indeed, as Herner will be under pressure here. Bycroft will look to play aggressive, but now Ocean Puhaka's looking for a way through this back half of the circuit, which pretty much molds into one, Sean. You never know which way this course is going for the second half.
Yeah, you've got to have a really, really solid memory, don't you, Jake?
Yeah, even my memory with 1,000 names that I have to remember in my massive database would not be enough to remember all these corners and just how difficult they all can be. But they stick up behind Herner just for the moment, as you're looking at the drivers up towards the front. Nora Lampe heading to the mini carousel then, this next left-hander out on circuit. His gap, I would have to estimate, is about 2 seconds at this point. Michel Vandenberg's keeping him honest. And this is what's really interesting about this circuit here, Sean, is the fact that you can have this set up in two different ways to get massive top speed when you get to these sorts of sections, like the Dottinger Hove, like the run to Arenberg, like the run up to Ardner first, and then compromise somewhere else. If you look at someone like, say, Nora Lampe, it seems to me that he's set up the vehicle to be very good in the tight and twisty sections, like the carousel, like Bergwerk, like even into, say, Ardner first. I think he's got a very much different setup vehicle to what Vandenberg's offering.
Yeah, and you know what? I got to be honest with you. Vandenberg not picking up anything in the draft here at all. In fact, he's lost a couple of tenths down the Dottinger Hole.
He has, and Kai Ruokola's also got through on Gert Hofra, so Ruokola sees that his championship will rely on how good Journo Friche is. So Kai Ruokola wants to get in on that championship perspective, wants to start taking points away from Journo Friche, who's only 20 points down the road. So that's going to be, what, 3 positions here today, Sean?
Yes, Jake, it could be. Boy, we just missed a huge battle coming down to Dottinger Hole. And now it's Kendrick Taylor that gets to 10th, passing Pablo Suarez there on that long straight, and Robert Simpkins just behind Suarez. Suarez working with a significant amount of damage on that front wing, and a huge battle just behind them as Puhaka still trying to come through the field here.
He is. He's got through Masson Pascal, so he'll be very happy about getting through that. He's now got Keith Herner to deal with, but Herner's caught Simpkins, Suarez, and Taylor, so it seems that Puhaka wants to get through the lot. Wide line taken from Keith Herner there, completely unsettled through the early stages of this track, and you just have to make sure that you just keep it on the island. Again, a big wiggle as he tries to apply the power down with those big chunky rear tyres as he looks to go through these series of lefts and rights, gets the opportunity to go forward. Now the run to Flugplatz, they come along. Puhaka tucked up right underneath, moves to the inside, looking for the opportunity. Up over the jump they go, and Herner was all out of shape there, as he is out of shape again, and look at how they all check up. Pascal, and now Bycroft wants a piece in on it, Sean.
This is crazy. I'm not used to seeing a trolley train here at the Nordschleife.
No, I'm certainly not. Suarez now side by side as there's almost contact there with Robert Simpkins. Simpkins took liberties, took the position away, as does Puhaka, but you can see Simpkins running wide through Arenberg. He has to be careful about that. Swedish Cross is not the place that you want to make things happen, Swedish Cross in English, but you can see Puhaka, he's like a samurai sword, the way he's slicing through the field. Run to compression then will be up this next left-hander. Brave men make moves there. Foolish men decide that they want to stick a move there. He doesn't want to here. Ardner first.
Boy, and who knew we'd have a great battle like this in the middle of the field. Puhaka still trying to recover from that misfortune early on. He's picked it up.
He's got it.
Yeah, he's got it around Simpkins there and on his way.
Well, this is a circuit which really exacerbates the difference between a good lap time and a bad lap time. 1 lap, 1 spin for Puhaka, half a minute back, trying to recover, but already he's made, what, 5 positions on this lap, minus Kendrick Taylor, who's running for the hills. That's fantastic work from Ocean Puhaka. It's something that is a real skill that you need to try and learn to be able to pick up positions one after another. Clear Hughes, though, he's a man looking to pressure here. Mark Pickford's already +8, looking to try and make this one +1 for Lear Hughes.
Yeah, Pickford, a good showing so far. Definitely boy, I'll tell you what, the question is, can they catch Blocker? Blocker himself on a great run, and boy, it just seems like he's getting a little bit faster here every section of track.
And of course, the famous call in college football is he's got blockers. So Adam Blocker right now doesn't necessarily have any blockers in front of him, and he's just going to have to worry about trying to just break away from Mark Pickford. But Pickford using all of that draft, which seems to be so much stronger here than anywhere else. You can see just how Blocker is just sitting duck in the middle of the road. Pickford catches him, though, at just the wrong point there, unable to capitalise the run through Bravery Bend, and you've got to do it before Bravery instead of after it here, Sean.
Yeah,
oh!
Exactly.
Wow, he tried it. It didn't work.
And how much of a sacrifice does it come at? Not much. Just keep it on the track here through the carousel, and oh, there he goes. That's a good run through there. Picked it back up, Jake.
He did. It was more Blocker's mistake as he was off of the concrete run, but you can see Blocker is pushing really hard into all of these corners. He is being pressured by Mark Pickford to run at 100%, and this is the one circuit where you definitely cannot run at 100% ever. There is no such thing as a perfect lap when it comes to the Nordschleife. You have to be so on it to make things happen, but at the front, it's all as it was. Nora Lampe, Vandenberg, Prix, Ruicola, Hoferer. That settled down a little bit, and Matt Wood there in 6th position. I'm going to get up my little stats book on exactly how Matt Wood has gone, because he's been so good at qualifying, but his racing element hasn't worked out for him over the last few races, Sean. And I'll say something now. In the last 5 weeks that he's done, he has finished no lower than 7th and no higher than 4th.
Tell you what, under most circumstances, that would be a good plan for a championship. But you know, when you've got 1 or 2 drivers doing all the winning, then it's tough to compete.
Oh, you bet it is tough to compete. You have to work really hard to make things happen. Daniele Gattuso, though, back in the field a bit. He's under pressure now from Teemu Vaskalampi. This one for 18th and 19th, or 17th and 18th, actually, at this stage, as Gattuso has to be a wary man at this stage. They head through the lefts and rights of the back half of the circuit. So Gattuso, he knows what he needs to do. And Leah Hughes running into issues. Oh, dear, that's not a nice place. That's just before the mini carousel. Oh, he just got all out of shape there. He just got a little bit too wide. Caught up on those high curbs. And those curbs, don't forgive or forget, they're higher than what normal curbs would be on a normal circuit.
Yeah, and right there, that curb comes up in such a way that when he hit it, you saw the car kind of compress there and then jump up in the air. And it just for a fraction of a second, and that's all it took was to get it around. You're trying to get back to the accelerator right there, so a combination of getting back to the throttle and bouncing up off that curb. You can see Lear there, the car not looking good at all.
No, it isn't. And Adam Blocker's through on Mark Pickford. Look up further forward because Kaya Ruicola has found Gernot Friche. That's always going to be something very, very interesting. But behind that, we've got a nice little bit of side-by-side. Vaskalampi and Gattuso going at it. But more importantly, Bycroft trying to get through. Pascal now they're blocking the train. Herner, Suarez, Hughes, all there. So train of 5 now going through. We expect Clear Hughes to dive down onto the lane. No, he'll stick it out and stay it out clearly. No meatball flag of damage. But again, train of 5. Herner dealing with it. Suarez dealing with his own damage. And now Masson Pascal trying to keep back a very difficult Steve Bycroft to try and hold back, but Bycroft will be the patient man. But here at this circuit, you know, you have to be more patient than most. I think this circuit actually suits Bycroft as a driver.
I think you're right, Jake. You know, I'm looking forward to the battle of up for 3rd, and boy, Kaya Ruicola seems to have finally caught up to Gernot Friche, and maybe a little bit closer than we've been. There may be an opportunity coming up here.
There certainly will be up into compression. The left-hander now into the rights and lefts at Ardeneur first that they all have to deal with. And you can see also just in front of that, Michel Vandenberg in the Ferrari trying to break away. No QC clap in this field, so that's going to be something quite telling here in terms of points overall. Johan Orlampi as well, breaking away, doing his job and doing his job best of just keeping himself out of trouble. We don't normally talk about lap times here at Nordschleife, but it was a 6:04.7 from Nora Lampe. It was a 6:05.9 from Vandenberg, 6:06 flat from Friche, 6:05.2 from Kaya Ruokola. It's not often that you say Journo Friche is 2 seconds slower than someone.
Not often, no. But the preacher's hooked up here at the Nordschleife. He seems to be really dialed in right now, Jake, as he continues to open his lead on Vandenberg here, almost to 3 seconds. I remember when we were talking about it, it was still just 1.6 seconds there on the Dot der Ho, I think, to complete lap 1, and he has managed to put some space between the two now. And boy, Juha, just keep it in the gray, buddy, and you may have yourself another victory this season.
To another Finnish driver, Ossian Peheka has now found the driver of Adam Blocker. That's how quick he's been on the brakes then into this left-hander. Big wide line, though, from Pickford just in front. And Pickford has to be careful about taking that wide line. There's not much runoff. This isn't any Herman Tilke design track. You aren't going to get away with too much here. Big wiggle through left-hander. 2 big wiggles into the wall. He bins it, and he doesn't seem to win it either. Mark Pickford essentially out of the race, Sean.
Yeah, that's going to be an ender for him. Right front, he's already taken the toe.
Oh,
see it here. It just, once it started to get loose, he could never catch it.
No, he couldn't. And the toe here is longer than any other toe anywhere else. This is the long circuit. You're not going to get express delivery back to the pits. Oh, no, you've got to get a tow truck around, 20 kilometers of Nordschleife? That's not going to work.
Yeah. In fact, I think everybody before him that's had to go to the pit has put that car behind the wall, except for John Stevens, who has taken a pit and is still out there slugging it out.
Still slugging it out, but again, Kaya Ruokola looking at Journo Friche, thinking, here's my opportunity into the lefts and rights. Up the hill they come along, that mirrors the early stages of the lap, and now they're heading to corners like Hoyapt very soon, heading to corners like the Stefan Beloff S in the next minute and a half, as Journo Friche now has to make sure that he just drives away. He needs about 0.8 of a second, I think, Sean, to really make sure that the Dottinger Hove is not going to be an overtaking place, and Ruokola knows this and will try and follow as diligently as possible.
I don't think that's going to work out. They're a little bit too close right now, and approaching here we'll be in Flatsgarden pretty soon, and then before you know it, we'll be talking about Dot der Ho. I don't know. We'll see here. That's only 0.6 right now between the two.
Only 0.6 here, as you can see. Journo Friche just a little bit more confident there in that mini sector, as we call it here. He just managed to find another 10th, little bit of a wheel on the grass, though, as he heads through that left-hander. He just gets away with that Beloff S. Left, right, left. You can see Ruokola almost straight-lining it like the skiers are doing in South Korea right now, as they head into the right-hander here, heading up towards this big left. Then the mini carousel comes along, and Ruokola has got the phasers lit. He is inside, the target's locked on, and all that's needed now is a couple of missiles if he didn't mess up the mini carousel.
Boy, and the action has spread out quite a bit. On board with Kaya Ruokola now. Let's see how it works out here down the Dot der Ho.
0.3, 0.2, 1/10, left-hand side. And the swing in championship points is 24. As Kaya Ruokola gets himself up forward, gets himself through, but has he done it too early as they pass the tourist entrance? Because Friche could have an opportunity to come back under the Bilstein Bridge. Now you're running out of time, Journo. Now you're out of time, Journo. You've got to sit and wait, maybe for Swedenkreuz to try and make a move back again. So Kaya Ruokola up into third position, did it without too much worry at all. Just keep an eye on Michel Vandenberg here, because we're on to lap 4 here, halfway at the end of this lap. The gap came down by 0.2, 0.3 of a second at the Nordschleife. So easy to do, but you've got to close down 2.5 seconds in 4 laps here, Sean. Yeah,
but you know what? 2 cars faster than 1 down to Dot der Ho, and that's probably where they're making up most of that ground. And they'll get a few more cracks at it, but Vandenberg having a really solid drive, and, you know, for his effort, he's still just 2.3 seconds behind our leader, Juha Norlampi. So any small mistake from Norlampi is going to open this up for Vandenberg.
Any small mistake normally ends in death at the Nordschleife. Bycroft, though, has made the move through on Robert Simpkins down into Bill Stein and then into the final rights and lefts on circuit as you head through the final left. You're not going to go back onto the Grand Prix circuit. You're going to take this right, this difficult right, but not many drivers actually get a chance to practice. You don't even get to practice it in VLN, and Simpkins, well, he gets caught out there. He loses about 5, 6, 7 tenths of a second in that one corner alone, Sean. And the Nordschleife, you know, you normally talk about this circuit in terms of the high end of performance for vehicles, for testing how quick a vehicle can go. It's not normally a place where drivers practice.
It's true. That is true. Yeah, it's when I want to practice, I don't think about just heading on over to the Nordschleife and taking a ride. So, good point there. You know what? Hey, back in the field now. I'll be honest with you. I'm watching the progress of Masson Pascal, who is up 10 spots in 12th, and he's tracking Robert Simpkins right now. Was about 3/4 of a second faster, and really just a couple of seconds behind. So, you know what? This top 10 could be under threat here. Pascal's been awful fast and awful good for the Frenchman here through the first half of this race.
The issue is the man in 10th position is 3 seconds a lap quicker right now, so try and chase down that for the final position in the top 10. The final Sperry points paying position as well, Sean. So a lot to fight for here, up and down this field, and Robert Simpkins completely being dropped at this stage. I wonder if Pascal can actually catch Simpkins here.
I think there's a decent chance. Yeah, I really do.
Really do? Well, I really do think that he can catch as well. That's going to be something to keep an eye out on. Journo Friche, though, he's being dropped right now by Kaya Ruokola. Interesting, from the #1 rated driver, the man with the highest I rating in this field. Kaya Ruokola is driving away from Journo Friche, and if he can drive away like this, Michel Vandenberg will not be looking forward in his mirrors. He'll be looking backwards.
I'm a little surprised. I really thought Journo would have just been right up under the wing until they got back to the Dot der Hoe, and then he would take the position back. But boy, as he continues to drop, this becomes a concern because, you know, you said about 8/10 of a second. Well, he's there right now, and he falls much further back. He's going to lose them altogether.
He is, but he is gaining 10th by 10th. He's just getting into Pascal. We're going to look now in the 24 as off goes the driver of Robert Simpkins.
Yep.
That's down at a very dangerous left-hander. All Simpkins getting out of shape and nowhere for Pascal to go. It's a blindsided corner there as well. He just goes straight underneath him, and that's a scary accident.
Yep, and Pascal just nowhere to go right there. He spun and right in the line, and boy, Pascal picking up heavy damage on his machine. We're right on board with him here. This will be a good shot at it. It's just, again, nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. This circuit doesn't have any runoff areas. If you're in the Armco, you're back on the circuit again. Very similar style of circuit to what we'll be going to next week at the circuit of Watkins Glen. Keith Herner, though, here's the opportunity. Damage. Opportunity! Where are you going, Keith? Into the grass. That's a lapse in concentration from Keith Herner.
Lapse in concentration, maybe, but great save, yes. He's still rolling, and that lapse does not cost him the race. And now it'll be up to him to try and get past Pascal, who's got a little bit of damage, not as much as I thought he initially incurred, but it's got to be difficult. And that car looking a little bit squirrely right now, so he's got his hands full, Jake.
Someone else who has his hands full is Kendrick Taylor in the 21 machine. Steve Bycroft is there here on lap 4 of 8. He's got an opportunity now to really try and attack here to take position number 9. And then 8 seconds down the road will be the driver of Adam Blocker that he'll be looking to catch. Bycroft is clearly quicker than the next 2 drivers in front of him. He needs to work to get himself up as many positions as he can, but I don't see him going any further than 8th here in this event unless tragedy befalls a driver.
We'll give him an A for effort, Jake.
There is no A in effort, Sean. I see English isn't your strong point.
Or math.
Or math. Yes.
I really enjoyed history, by the way.
Yes, we could tell at the start of the broadcast. I wonder how your geography is as well. This is the most difficult circuit for geography. Michel Vandenberg, though, seemingly being caught a little bit now by Kaya Ruokola. And Ruokola is just slowly reeling in these guys here. The gap when he crossed the line was about 1.7 seconds. We'll see if it opens. We'll see if it closes. But we'll keep an eye on this one for Steve Bycroft, because Bycroft, if he stays within this sort of gap now as he heads to the Belfast, he's got a chance on the Dossinger Hove.
Yeah, chance indeed here. He's really, really close. I think this is going to happen, Jake.
Yeah, you think it's going to happen? I think he's going to pass go and collect 200 as well. He takes the wide line through the mini carousel. Got to be careful about that. Of course, the suspension has to be changed for the differences in banking here. Very rare that you see circuits outside of the United States having banking in them. I think Zandvoort's the only other circuit you can really put into motion. But Kendrick Taylor... Steve Bycroft is in range right now. The gap will come down more and more and more. And Steve Bycroft is going to find the tourist entrance. There's a little bit of weaving. Try and shake the draft away. But that's not going to work for you, Kendrick Taylor. To the outside goes Steve Bycroft. It will turn to the inside. Instant let off of the throttle. Kendrick Taylor's a beaten man.
Yes, he is. He's dropping him quick. Bycroft showing some muscle here down at Dossinger Hove. Looking good, looking good. And now... Kendrick Taylor trying to fight back, but he's going to get on the brakes a lot sooner there than Bycroft, and he speeds ahead. Bycroft solidly in a ninth. Lear Hughes just getting overtaken by Timu Vascalampi back in the field. That was for 14th place.
Well, there's not much that Lear Hughes can do at this stage, and well, he is over a minute back, but you know, there are drivers like John Stevens who's over 3 minutes back here, 4 minutes back here in this event. Survival of the fittest is what we said first, but I think we need to be a little bit more eagerly eyed on Kairo Rucola. His last lap, a 6:04.1. Put that into perspective. Michel Vandenberg did a 6:04.8. Nora Lampe did a 6:05. Dead. So you think about that. Kairo Rucola, 9/10 of a second quicker faster than Nora Lampe. 4 laps to go, and he's exactly 4 seconds back.
Should I try math on that?
Oh, I don't know. we might be pushing you a little bit too much, Sean, but that's by the by.
It looks like Pascal has given up the ghost and brought that car in.
Oh.
Wow. Pascal was battling for a great position, great finish here today, and bad luck caught him out.
Bad luck did catch him out, so that will be the end of his challenge, his charge here in the event. So that's going to be a shame, but there will always be other opportunities at different circuits. But, you know, do you look at this sort of circuit and say that you're looking, that if you want to be good at this circuit, you've got to do this circuit maybe not even 100 times, but maybe even 1,000 times, Sean?
I've done it an awful lot, and I still haven't figured it out. I don't know. I don't think there's a number, Jake.
There is not a number. Well, maybe we can ask Stefan Schmidt, the Queen of the Nordschleife, and maybe she'll have an answer. Well, in the words of Cam Walsh, either way, Johan Orlampi still leads this race. Michel Vandenberg in second position, Kairo Rucola in third as they headed through the ladder links and now on the run towards Bravery Bend. And, you know, the gaps, they do start to open up a little bit as Adam Blocker goes for a big merry-go-round. And that is just heading towards that next right-hander. That's Bergwerk that he's just it's hit, miss hit, sorry, that he's just gone completely steaming into. And I think he's beached it on the curb.
He has. He has. Tires spinning, he can't move.
Those curbs are high, so high that I think he is stranded and he's going to need a little bit of help from someone. That help's not going to come along, so I think there is only one option for Mr. Blocker, and that is that he is being a blocker and he should take a tow.
Wow.
There we go, there's the tow. Adam Blocker then pretty much will be frustrated with that. There should be no damage on that vehicle though, Sean. So he could get back out and going again once the tow is stopped.
And boy, with all the attrition we've had, I just want to talk about John Stevens real quick. Stevens is recovering and getting into 15th place. Not a bad recovery effort for the driver with the number 17 on his wing.
Yeah, not a bad effort indeed. Robert Simpkins officially out of this race. Steve Sarles has still been down on pit road for a very long time. We've lost the likes of Anthony Catt, of course, more familiar to a Skip Barber than he would be to a Lotus 79, but he's done a very good job today, or hasn't had the best of days, sorry. Nicholas Landau has also been out. Ray Griffin has also been out of the event as well, but we still have vehicles circulating, but this Nordschleifer, it's more a tale of can you... You're never going to master the Nordschleifer. It's just a case of will the Nordschleifer master you or not.
Yeah, that's true. Kaya Ruokola is really flying here, Jake, and Michelle Vandenberg now has a mirror full. And guess what? They're getting close to opening it up to a full bore here.
They are very close here. The Dodgers are Hove coming up. And you think Ruokola needed a little bit more time. The gap was 1.6 when they last crossed the line. Very clearly in sight is Michel Vandenberg, but I think it's just a little bit too far away right now for Ruokola to really maximize the use of the draft. He'll get the fringes of it here, but he'll now need to try and find top speed, which is struggling a little bit. Vandenberg at 276 kilometers an hour. Nora Lampe a lot quicker, 280 kilometers an hour. So Nora Lampe's gone for a high top speed setup, which is working in his favor because he can compensate that around the circuit. Ruokola, though, unable to make something happen. So this is going to beg the question, even if you do close up to Nora Lampe here, Sean, can you get past him with the speed differential?
That's going to be really tough. I didn't realize the speed difference was that significant until you just brought it up there. And that, boy, look at that Yuha, 6037. Man,
I
that's crazy.
Don't think the guys behind haven't been pushing. 604 flat Vandenberg, 6038 Ruokola. Jono Friche is the man being dropped, 6054. He's got nothing here. And Jono Friche probably lives the closest to them of the lot, being Austrian.
Yeah, that's a bit of a surprise to see Journo continue to lose ground. But as we've talked about, you know, when you lose touch with a partner, you really lose touch here. Almost comparable to, like, let's say, super speedway racing. When you lose that pack, you really lose it, man.
Not to forget the Pack Majors Daytona 500 will be in 2 weeks' time. So definitely have that coming into play when you're talking about restrictor plate racing and Daytona. Ocean Perheka, though, 6043 last time by. Very quick time. He's only 11 seconds back of Matt Wood. 3 laps to go, and he's 11 seconds down the road. I think Matt Wood's in trouble.
He better start pedaling a little bit faster up there over these last few laps because Puhaka seems to have gotten back into his comfort zone and is on the attack.
And well, Matt Wood will be running as quick as the Anthill mob could run in the Wacky Races trying to get away, but that's by the by. He needs to really try and get on the runaway as quickly as he possibly can here in this event. That's the big talking point, is that yes, you can be involved in an instant. Yes, you can be running on your own, but Ocean Perheka has proven that he can just be able to recover it. The number 3 machine has recovered. He shouldn't be in position number 7. He should be up there fighting for that victory in an ideal world. He's not. He's now chasing down Matt Wood, who is the Mr. Consistency and arguably the Mark Webber of what is Lotus 79.
The Mark Webber of Lotus 79. I love it.
I
think he'd take that.
I think you would. He's not bad for a number 2 driver, though, sure. Either way, Matt Wood doing a very good job with it right now as he heads through the next left-hander. And, well, go on.
I was just say, it looks like Lear Hughes has also given up on it. He has taken his car in to the pit lane.
That's a shame. Lear Hughes, the damage too much. He'd probably have to come in, serve himself with some repairs. And, of course, it's not just the fact that you need to repair the vehicle. It's the fact that you have 17 instant points as well. You'll get drivers, for example, like Daniele Gattuso, what I could say tiptoeing around at a 6-minute 31 lap. But they're doing so because they don't want to pick up a single instant point at all. Put John Stevens into mind. He's running around doing 6.11s in comparison to the 6.31. So he's, what, 20 seconds a lap quicker? Yeah, he's not going to catch, but Daniele Gattuso is still going to have in his relative, okay, a minute and 30 back. I've got John Stevens. I can't afford to make mistakes.
having to think about it here, generally never a good thing, Jake. So much to stay focused on, and when you're worrying about numbers and relative, it might be a little bit too much for the data banks here on the Nordschleife.
The worst thing that a driver can do is think, I think. And this circuit has so many long straights that you get quite a bit of time to think in certain areas, and in other areas, you're not thinking at all. So, you know, it's about how you manage that and micromanage it. I will say, though, Cairo Cola has got to a point where he can't catch any further. I'm wondering if he's just getting the fringes of the dirty air and he just can't push any harder, because Vandenberg's pushing at breakneck speed to try and close down Nora Lampe, who's clearly got an extra gear in his vehicle or something.
Clearly. The speed difference just hard to deny. I want to think Ruocolo's got one last gasp in that car, but Vandenberg really seems to be in control of that right now, and Ruocolo's been able to do really nothing with it.
And remember, Michel Vandenberg still has an outside shot in the championship. He is 125 points back of the championship leader, who's not here, Nuno Moreira. So he has an opportunity here with his second position to really take some strong points, and especially with a split today, Sean, that's going to mean that points are a lot stronger than they would be, say, like they were at Barber, like they were, say, for example, at round 2 of the championship.
Yeah, definitely, Jake. You know what? Let's go on ASEAN real quick. Like, it's down to just over 7 seconds right now.
Uh-oh, Matt.
Yeah, he's closing quick on Wood here.
Well, Matt Wood, well, if he was a lumberjack, he'd have to be chopping a little bit faster to get the quota in. If you got Oisin Peheka chasing you down, you got to start running for the hills, running for the border. And right now, when you're here in the Eifel Mountains, Matt Wood has just got to go up and down them 2 more laps and hope that he is clear. But right now, I don't think he is, as he heads himself out of the Belofest into this next long right-hander. And the worst part about this is Matt Wood will see Oisin Peheka is closing. He will see that gap's coming down, and he will have so much time to think about this on the Dottinger Hove, this massive long straight, which is so uncharacteristic for a circuit which is so relevant in terms of racing and sim racing. Matt Wood with a lot of time to think. God, I'd hate to be under his visor right now.
He is getting caught at an alarming rate right now, and the only thing that's going to save him is a trip down to Dottinger Hove right now for at least just a little bit. Things have leveled out as Puhaka now making his way there.
I will say that Juha Noralampi has just done a 6:03.2. Has just blitzed everybody. He's gone half a second quicker, and he's gone, right, you can't catch me. A 6:04 flat's nice, Michel, but I'm gone now. So try and deal with Kaya Ruocola, who is now officially 1.2 seconds back. Ruocola's in the wheelhouse here with 2 to go, Sean.
Definitely is. And, well, you know, with 2 to go, Jake, anything can happen here. We know this. It's never cliche to say that here at the Nordschleife.
It's never cliche.
Never.
6:04.2 from Oisin Puhaka. Meet at 6:08.5. That was 4.3 seconds locked off on that last lap. The gap is down to 6 seconds. Well, in fact, 5.9 when they last crossed the line. Matt, the numbers don't lie. You do not have enough. You will be caught by Bravery Bend on the final lap. So Matt Wood has got to find 2 seconds to be half safe, 3 seconds to be safe. I'm not sure he can do it.
Yeah, I think it's if, not if, but when right now. When, I think it's going to be really, really soon, because again, he's continuing to close ground. The time keeps coming down. Every little bit of stretch of track here, he gains advantage.
He certainly does, and Cairo Ruocola just came out then of what was the Ardner first section as he now heads through this next left-hander into the mid part of the circuit now. On the brakes, into the left, looking then for this next right-hander at Kemmelstep. He's looking now for opportunities just to stay within the 1 second window. When he gets out of this section of track, he will be within that drafting range, which is so crucial here. But you're seeing through the mid-speed corners, Ruakola does not have enough to stay with the driver of Michel van den Berg. The Dutchman, you have to say, Flying Dutchman right now, is hoping that he can just put an anchor into the rear suspension of Kaya Ruakola.
Okay, let's drop back in the field real quick here to a battle, where I think is going to be a battle here for 11th place. Pablo Suarez has got that 11th spot right now. He's been struggling with the damage on his car since he picked it up early on lap 1, and it looks like Vascalampi has recovered enough to make a run at him here. Now, Vascalampi dealing with some pretty heavy damage on his machine as well. Rear wing and front wing both twisted up there a bit, but, well, last lap, Vascalampi was 5 seconds faster than Pablo Suarez, and he's cut that gap down now to 1.4 seconds.
Wow, you can count that on one hand.
Yes, thank you, Jake. I got that down.
Oh, Teemu Vascalampi looking for position number 11. I think he's too far back to deal with Keith Herner, who did a 6:18 last time by. He's 11 seconds down the road from Pablo Lumbueras, you could argue. So I don't think Vascalampi, unless there's a mistake from Herner, can get himself inside of the top 10. Pablo Lumbueras, caution time is here. He needs something to work on. But let's go back to Van den Berg. Ruakola is officially there at the carousel.
Well, he's there. But, well, as our friend Soup says, it's kind of like milking a rooster. He's still got to get by him.
Well, there is a certain thing called a Doshinjaho, so he's just got to stay with him for this next section of track. He knows Nora Lampe is probably clear at this stage, and that's going to be crucial as well for the championship picture, because Nora Lampe, although he hasn't been doing many races, he's been doing races incredibly quickly. He's picked up a couple of wins here or there. I count this, since January, I picked this up as the driver of Johan Nora Lampe's 3rd win in 4 different races. He's not been off the podium in 5 as things stand. That's just how dangerous Nora Lampe can be at the late stages of a season, and this could be a late charge for a championship perspective. So Nora Lampe, keep an eye on him. Van den Berg, Ruakola, those two pretty much nose to tail at this stage. And Puheka also wheelhouse. Matt Wood, the gap pretty much now 2.5 seconds here, Sean.
Oh, boy. Puhaka having quite a drive today.
Oh, he is quite
Really
a drive. Let's keep an eye on Pablo Lumbueras here, the battle for P11, because Vascalampi's here at the circuit, at the area of the circuit where you can make a move. So Vascalampi struggling a little bit with rear wing damage. That's going to be slowing him down a little bit here as they head towards Bravery Bend. This small kink right before the next left-hander comes along. Vascalampi's not close enough. Battle for P2, though. Keep an eye on this as they head out of the Goldenhof. Here comes the driver of Kaya Ruakola. He's got a chance here, Sean.
Oh, boy. Let's see here. Just in that zone we talked about there at the turn. Hit him at about 0.6 of a second. And, boy, you see Van den Berg really trying to break that up. Not making it easy, but Ruakola still advancing here.
Oh, it's so easy for Ruakola to bring that gap down. They head to Bilstein. Will he have a chance? He looks to the outside, and they will be side by side as the track narrows. You can see both of them moving into the centre as they get on the brakes for the rights and lefts, and Van den Berg will have to yield. Give it up. Ruakola takes position number 2 away and puts another vehicle between himself and Journo Friche for position 2 in the championship, if not position 1 without Nuno Moreira being in play. It's the white flag lap. It's a long 8 minutes, or long 6 minutes, sorry, they have to deal with. Nora Lampe just did a 6:02.6, by the way, just a casual one with a 5-second gap at the front of the field. This is fantastic to watch here as they will fight it out going on, but Puhaka has caught the driver of Matt Wood, and for a lap, Matt Wood has to be the widest vehicle in the world.
1 lap. I don't think he's going to be able to hold him off. I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh, be an optimist for once. Be an optimist. Matt Wood, if he is anything like Mark Webber and beating the Mark Webber of Lotus 79, he will know how to defend a position, and we know how good Matt Wood can be. In terms of the Vascalampi-Suarez battle, It seems that Vascolampi is still stuck, but they head to the Beloff S right now here, Sean. And you feel that Vascolampi's greatest shot to make this move is now.
Yeah, he's got to get this done. It's time. You've been working on this for a while. Get it done. Get by Suarez and be happy with gaining that position. I don't think it's really going to run out of time to get to Herner, like you'd said earlier, but you can at least get this move done here. Get one more position out of this race and feel a little bit better about yourself when we get done.
But he didn't have the best of runs when it came to what was the area of circuit known as the mini carousel. You can see he's not taking the toe as he heads down this long stretch. So he has the advantage on top speed. He will now look to try and collect the toe a little bit too late, in my opinion, to try and give that gain, because Pablo Lambueras is always going to weave at this stage, and I think that Vascolampi is going to have to leave it to the last lap, and he doesn't want to do that more than anything else. Ruocolo, though, still gets himself over Vandenberg, with Nora Lampi leading this race and running away with it. Eye, though, to Ocean Puheka. He's there at Ardeneur first here, Sean. He's looking for the chance, but the chance is not here yet. He'll probably wait for Bravery Ben to make the move.
He's got it right where he wants him, for sure. Boy, and pressure on Matt Wood here. A mirror full of it.
A mirror full of pressure. Not only that, it's enough pressure to make diamonds at this stage, and this is where you cut out drivers, you compress them down, and if you get a diamond of a driver, you go, sign that boy up. I need him in my team. I'd probably have Matt Wood in one of my sim racing teams. That's something that I would definitely say. Ruocolo's not clear, though, of Michel Vandenberg. He's staying with this one, and very crucially, he's staying this one as he gets himself then towards this next section through the Lauda links. They come along here, of course, the scene of the Niki Lauda horror crash, which saw him with his most famous scars and burns all over him. Vandenberg's here. Vandenberg's looking. He'll have an opportunity. Looks down to the inside. That will turn to the outside at Bravery. And now these boys will have to be brave. These brave boys will go side by side at Bravery Ben. And Ruocolo holds off for now.
Ooh, that's got me on the edge of my seat, Jake. I really thought that was almost over.
Well,
good attempt by Vandenberg. He's still right with him.
Do you want take two?
Take two.
Because here
we're
comes
about to get it. Yeah.
On Matt Wood. So Matt Wood now, this is the one of two places he has to make a defensive track here at this stage of the circuit. Puheka just looking all over the mirrors. He's weaving all over. 2 tires on the grass. He goes for the move. Oh my word, he goes for the move. And he's going to take it away on the outside. Take your hat off, Osia Puheka. My goodness, that is, I'm calling it right now, at this stage, the move of the year so far.
It was certainly one of the best moves I've seen all year, Jake, early into this one, 2018. But go back up front, Vandenberg, maybe starting to lose a little bit of touch here to Ruocolo, who's now opening up to, what, 9/10.
9/10. He needs an extra 10th to make it secure, and I think Vandenberg is going to count his chickens maybe for another day. So Michel Vandenberg tried, he got close, and you felt that if he got ahead there at Bravery, he'd have this chance to get away and try and hold off for one last chance. That's not going to happen, though, at this stage. It seems that it's going to be too far back. Matt Wood is being dropped instantly by Ocean Puheka, who doesn't deserve to be down as low as he is. Pablo Lambueras versus Vascolampi. Vascolampi is still there, tucked right underneath. We'll keep a half eye on this one, because now Nora Lampi is heading through the right and the left. The mini carousel coming up in just a moment for your race leader, who looks absolutely sensational once again in a race in the Lotus 79. We'll have a quick look, though, at Vascolampi. We'll see if he has a chance here as he makes the run to Bravery. He is close with Pablo Lambueras here. He's closing that gap. It's 3/10. It's 2/10. It is a 10th of a second now, and he's now got to pick a lane and choose it. He goes to the outside for now. That will turn to the inside. He gets 2 tires on the grass and won't make the move here on Lambueras Suarez. What a shame. But to Johan Nora Lampi, who looks absolutely sensational again. He broke the field. He set fastest laps for fun as he passes the tourist entrance. He knows exactly what was expected of him, and he was doing what is expected of him. And this is a late surge for the championship with 3 rounds to go, with Watkins Glen coming up in a week's time. it would be a very brave man to put your money against this one. The preacher is saying, everyone listen to my sermon. My sermon is the one that will sound the loudest through the Eiffel Hills. Johan Orlampi wins at the Nordschleife, emphatically breaking everybody around. Ruicola gets second, Vandenberg third, Journo Friche, on a day he should have capitalized, only takes fourth. Judd Hoferer will take fifth position overall, but to the Suarez-Vascalampi battle here, Sean, it's not over.
It's not, but my concern here for Vascalampi is that rear wing damage, and when they get to the dot and the hole, I just don't know if he's...
Oh, they touch! They touch, and round's going to go Suarez, and I think that's going to be, very graciously, Vascalampi letting him keep that position for now. But the big news is, for now, we don't know how much damage Suarez is going to have. The answer is too much. He can't make it go through. But look at this from sportsmanship from Vascalampi. He will let him have that position, and I wander all the way through. Again, can't get on the power. I think that's going to be... day done. Well, have some common courtesy, Sean.
Yeah, and boy, unfortunately, Timu really, Suarez really battling with that machine right now. It's obviously crabbing and not pointing in the right direction he'd like it to. This will be sketchy around the last few turns here to get just to the dot and hole.
It's not just the dot and hove, it's the few corners after it here as he heads through this right-hander. It's very gracious. I think this is the best bit of sportsmanship Vascalampi's had. He knew he was being too aggressive. He knew that he made the move that has caused damage. So what he's going to do is he's going to let him have this all the way to the end. And Sean, it's not promoted enough, fair sportsmanship. And we don't often get to see it, but when we do, it's one of the nicest things in sim racing to see someone actually be gracious enough to say, I've made a mistake. You can have that position because you deserved it.
Yeah, and I think what we're seeing here, extremely cool right now. And Timu had a really, really good fight going with Suarez. I wonder, again, if that damage on the rear wing would have really hurt him on the dot and hole, but he took his chance at a move there, and it didn't quite work out. And Suarez around because of that contact. And you know what? He's going to hang right here behind him to the start-finish line, and yeah, it's going to result in a 12th place finish, but they'll both go home smiling, hopefully, as friends. So ready to race again next week.
Ready to race again next week, as we will head to Watkins Glen for that one, of course. So Timu Vascalampi then, position 12, it will be, unless he wants to be very cheeky here and completely dupe everybody and take the move at the final corner or something. But you know, I think Vascalampi has done the right thing here. Daniele Gattuso will be closing in on all of this, mind you. So I wonder if Gattuso will get there. The answer's probably going to be no, unless there's another big moment for Lumbueras as he slows it all right down. The good news is, here on a lap that is 8 minutes long, you have about 10 minutes to finish your lap.
Nice buffer here at the Nordschleife for finishing a race.
Oh, yes.
Boy, he's really having trouble steering that thing.
At least that he doesn't have to serve any meatball penalty or anything like that. Round the final corner, great bit of sportsmanship here from Vascalampi. Suarez takes 11th position overall. John Stevens, he's been involved in an incident on the final lap too. He's pancaked the wall. And the Armco here, well, John Stevens is the final vehicle on the leading lap. It's going to be a long stretch to get home from here.
Talk about crabbing. Wow.
Wow, indeed. I think for the sake of everybody, what we're going to do is we're going to call commercial break here. We're going to see John Stevens come across the line at some stage anyway. When we come back, we'll get the official classified results and we'll get post-race comments from some drivers who want to come in. This is the Lotus 79 series, the CTC Lotus 79 series from the Nordschleife. My goodness me, have we been treated to a Nordschleife race which had pretty much everything. It had the big drawn-out gaps that you normally get to expect here. It had the battles early on, it had the incidents, it had the circuit fighting back, but what it also had was one amazing overtake on the final lap of the event. Not only an overtake, but an overtake from a driver who knows how to overtake, who knows how to get it done. This is the Ocean Peheka overtake. We're going to have a look at this. Matt Wood then on the outside for the moment. And Peheka is a brave man to go too wide at Bravery Bend. Aerial coverage here. They almost touch, but Matt Wood had to back out of it because around the outside, Peheka just made, Sean, the pass of the year so far.
Yeah, definitely brave as we go on board here with Peheka.
And you'll see there, actually, that Matt Wood gets 2 tyres on the grass, and that's what elicits the move for Ocean Peheka. The fact that Matt Wood made a slight error, a marginal error, that only cost him maybe, what, half a second maybe in the overall? Maybe, what, 2 kilometres an hour overall? It's those fine margins, Sean, that make or break a race.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, it might have broken his spirit a little bit too, you know, after fighting so hard there and just to try and hang on to that position. The pass itself might have been just so deflating that there was just very little fight left to get it back.
Exactly. There was not much you can do when he was closing down 4 seconds a lap, but we'll get more talk of it now. Classified results. Everybody is across the line. This is how everybody has finished or not finished. Juha Noralampi, though, he is a man. He is a preacher. And he had the ability to slow it down to a 6:07 on the last lap, which is the same as his starting time, actually. Takes the win by 2 seconds in the end over Kai Ruokola in second position, who took the position away from Michel Vandenberg with a lap and a little bit left to go. Jono Fritzsche finishes 4th position, takes some vital consistency points, heading to Watkins Glen with Gerd Hoferer in 5th. And, of course, the major pass we saw between Ocean Peheka and Matt Wood for 6th and 7th. Steve Bycroft, great recovery drive from him. He gets back up into 8th position with Kendrick Taylor +6 to 9th. And get this, Keith Herner. He's a little bit of a Nordschleife specialist, +8 up into 10th position, Sean.
Yeah, really solid run there from Herner. Pablo Suarez, you know, not a bad day. We'll finish 11th. Timu Voskalampi, 12th. Just a great watching the last lap with those two. 13th, going to go to Daniele Gattuso. John Stevens hangs in there for a 14th place finish. Probably wasn't looking for that, but considering the trouble he had early, I think he's going to smile and walk away from this one. Lear Hughes, 15th. 16th, Adam Blocker, 17th, Masson Pascal. Boy, tough break for Pascal. He had a really solid run going there. Robert Simpkins, 18th. Mark Pickford, 19th. Another driver that was heading in the right direction, but boy, trouble. Too early in the race found him. 20th, going to go to Daniel Banker. 21st, Steve Sarles. Anthony Catt, 22nd. Nicholas Landau and Ray Griffin. Not much worked out for those guys today. They'll finish 23rd and 24th, respectively.
They certainly will. And well, Sean, I'm going to give you the opportunity to speak to the race winner here today of Juha Noralampi.
Juha, congratulations, my friend. Boy, that was a little bit of fun. How you feeling right now?
Oh, well,
yeah, that's what I expected.
This is a nightmare, this track. Yes, but I managed it to survive to the end, and I'm more than happy now because there were very tough guys this time, and I wasn't very sure that I could be even at the podium. But well, I luckily managed just before race started to have a good qualifying lap there and had the pole, and I had made my car set up so that it was planned to be at the pole at the race, and with the race pace I was very good all the time, and I thought that if I could get that 1 second lead, then I know what could catch me then after that, and that what happened.
Well, apparently it worked out for you. Obviously it did. We noticed the difference in speed when you were on a dot in your hoe. Not much downforce style into it, huh?
Not very much. Yes, it's a very tricky car to drive. And last race I was at third place, and I couldn't run after guys because I lost every traction there, and I don't know. But well, I'm very pleased. This time it split, but I won only 204 points. But if Nuno would have been here, it would be 250 points, I suppose.
Well, listen, things, and I never want to say things get easier, but let's say things get a little less confusing next week when we head to Watkins Glen. This is a really, really strong charge you're making here late in the season. Championship hope in mind for you, maybe.
Well, I just take one race at a time, and let's see what it comes. I just want to say that Kalle was very fast this time, and I think if he would have make some more qualifying laps and he could be at the top 3, then it would be Kalle's win. And of course there was Ossian Puhakka, who was again very, very fast, although he had not practiced only few times here, and I don't know how can he drive so fast right away. And he had a great pace, and I don't know what happened there, but it was very sad to notice that at the first lap he was somewhere else than he should be. But those guys are very good and very fast, and also Michael van den Berg was very, very, very fast. I don't know what he has eaten this season because he's so fast. But congratulations all the guys, and it was fun to race. And thank you, Sean and Jake and Johan and Amjed. Bye bye.
All right, we'll see you next week, buddy. And that is Juha Norlampi, your race winner, and Jake, maybe soon to be championship contender.
Well, he's been championship contender last season. I'd like to see it happen this season. But let's talk Ocean Peheka, and let's talk Ocean. Pass of the season so far.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't. My pass at the major series was better.
Oh, well, now we're just getting very picky. So let's talk, though, about that pass. Pass of the season or otherwise. Let's talk about it because, it's the last lap. You have this opportunity to get past a driver who is multiple seconds a lap slower, but you know that this circuit is so tight that it's almost impossible to make a move if he takes the middle of the road.
Yeah, I was actually planning to do it into the carousel, getting a good exit from the corner before that. I can't remember the name, sorry. I was planning to do it into the carousel, being brave, because I knew I was about 3 seconds faster than Matt in the last sector, 3 or 4 seconds. But well, I just got an opportunity and then presented itself. I knew Matt was going to stay tight on the inside, but I knew that he wasn't going to be a pig to me. Just push me outside of the track. I knew Matt can drive, so it was actually Matt was as important as myself in making that move, because had it been most guys, I wouldn't have gone there because I knew it would have ended in disaster. So it's a matter of trust in both directions, and I think that's very important, especially considering what happened in Bathurst.
Oh, yes. It is always about trust in both directions. You have to make sure that you have an element of trust when it comes to racing. And of course, the opening lap was very exciting for you, shall we say, and not for the right reasons for you. Of course, a spin in the opening, minute and a half, it's never ideal for a race, is it?
No, it isn't, and I definitely didn't plan to do that. Michael was a little bit slow. He almost lost it on the start, and the car is very difficult at the start anyway. What happened there, that there is a curb, and there is a little bit of a groove just on the inside of that corner. Normally I drive there. This time I was a little bit on the curb because I was off my usual line, and the car bounced up, and then it bounced down, and instead of hitting the shocks, the springs, when it comes down like it normally will do every time, it bounced off the rear for whatever reason. Bounced right off the gearbox, so I was around, because it's kind of hard to do anything with the throttle or the brakes when the rear is not touching the ground. But yeah, after that it was fun. I was just waiting for everybody to get past, getting really frustrated, and just trying to do passes where I can, basically.
Passes where you can. You move now inside the top 60 of the SimRacing Observer iRankings. You're in arguably having a fantastic early start to your season. Where do you see yourself going from here? Watkins Glen, for example?
Probably to the news if I can't improve my racecraft.
Well, that's certainly something just to keep in mind. Before we let you go, any shout-outs to sponsors? Back to your boys at Inertia.
Yeah, shout out to Inertia SimRacing. Sorry about the butt roosting. I hope we can work that out. And, well, shout out to today's winner, Juha, Kalle, Michael van den Berg, everybody else who was driving. And a shout out actually to Matt Blocker, I think it was. Was it Matt Blocker?
Adam Blocker.
Adam Blocker, yeah. Shout out to Adam Blocker who let me by during the race. That was really nice. And also shout out to you guys at Global Sim Racing channel, arguably the best streaming service on iRacing.
Not a problem at all. Osim Peheka there, joining us from Inertia Sim Racing, having a very good recovery through the field, I think it has to be said. But unfortunately, at this point in time, I'm going to have to call it as it is. That's all we're going to have time for here this afternoon. But do not fret. It's not always over on the Global Sim Racing channel. We have so much stuff that comes up all throughout the week. Of course, the Friday into the Saturday into the Sunday is always the busiest time of the week. But of course, we have to give all our thanks to all the drivers and all the teams of the Classic Teams Championship for their stunning battles and their decision to fly GSRC. Thank yous also have to go out to the company's equipment software that you have seen that has been involved or affiliated with this afternoon's broadcast. And of course, we'd like to thank Eric Eckholm and Casey Lalonde for the music that you have heard this afternoon. And details on how to contact them are on screen right now. And speaking about contacts, if you are wishing to have your series broadcast, or you just want to find out when the next dose of sim racing action or otherwise is live, pop over to globalsimracingchannel.com. Or you can check us up on social media with the Twitter handle at GSR Channel, or you can catch us up on Facebook as the Global Sim Racing Channel. We are heading to Germany, heading from Germany, to the United States and to New York State as round 10 is heading to the beautiful circuit of Watkins Glen. But as always, that has been Sean Ambrose, that has been Amjad Yamin, and that has also been the man who some say ignited the spark in Niki Lauda's career. Hang on, who writes these scripts? Anyway, that's Dougie Beard. I have been #YouMyJakeSperry, and Juha Noralampi is now making the charge that very few people get to see. A charge for a title that I think Gernot Frichet is worried about, that Kaya Ruokola's worried about. But more importantly, the man who did the charge and took it away from him last season, you guessed it, Nuno Moreira will be scared heading to Watkins Glen. Remember, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.